So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. So in the previous video I had already explained of how the recursion of Fibonacci series is gonna go about. And I also promised you to write a Java code elucidating or giving an exposition of its practical execution. So going ahead, I'll be starting my BlueJ application or BlueJ IDE, that's Integrated Development Environment, and I'll go ahead and open the project that I've already created for that matter. And this is going to be our second code. We will call it Recursive Fibonacci. So that's Recursive Fibonacci. So this class will get created, and then all I just need to do is import java.io.star, and then I have to do import the java.util.star and then semicolon. So public, now I'm going to define the class that I've created, public class, and I'll give the name that I've already given, that is recursive Fibonacci, and then going ahead and creating a main function that is public static void, that is non-returnable main, and then all I'm gonna do is call the scanner class, take the input in from the user, that is new scanner system.in. So I'm gonna take the input system dot println, where that will prompt the user in order to enter the value of n. Enter the value of Fibonacci numbers required. So I'll take it and say int n is sc.next int, oops, nice capital, and then what I'm gonna do is call a function called Fibonacci. So this is the function that I'm gonna create outside. Pass a parameter n. So at first I'm not gonna print the values of all Fibonacci series, but gonna show you how it's actually gonna function and give us the nth Fibonacci number. And then later I'll tell you how we can store the number in an array and display all the Fibonacci series. So it's giving me a compilation error since I've not yet defined the function. So one of the most fascinating things that you can do in writing a Java code is defining this word or the function static. Is it void? No, it returns an integer value. So it's public static int. We'll call it Fibonacci. That's the name that I've defined. And what will be our base condition? So the base condition according to our problem is if n, we'll define the parameter int n, and as I've already shown, we will have if n is less than equal to 0, so if n is less than equal to 0, all I need to do is just return value of n. And else, what if it's not 0 and 1? If n is less than or equal to 1 for that matter, sorry. And so else, what will come under the else part? We will return Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So our function will compile successfully. All we need to do is system.out.println. So now the program is almost done, and I'm gonna go and compile the code. So the compilation is set to the tab run. I'll just clear the screen. This is how you can reset the Java virtual machine, and then I'll execute that back again. It will ask me to enter the number of values that are required, and if I enter 4, the fourth value is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. So hence it prints the value 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. So that's the fourth value, the fourth number, starting from 0 as the indexing for the Fibonacci series. And what if I just execute it back again and put 0 as the number? It prints 0. That's what is the sequence required. That's the value required. It prints n Fibonacci series. So we need to go and write a code that will do the work for printing the complete Fibonacci sequence or series till n. I'm gonna explain it in the further part of the video. Now I'll just write 1 and it prints 1. So executing the further. So now, in order to store the set of Fibonacci numbers, I need to initialize an array. I will just name that array as named as A. Define the array as new int, and now I need to get the length of the array. So we have already seen in the output, whenever I'm giving it as 4 as an input, we have fourth input as well as 0 input. So we have n plus 1 numbers. So if we have f of 2, then we have 0, 1, 2. So the space is gonna be n plus 1. So it will require, so for 2 it will require space of 3. For 4, whenever we give input as 4, it will require a space of 5. Now, we are gonna initialize each instance or each contiguous location of an array as -1 for n plus 1 values. Starting from int I equals 0, I less than equal to n since it's n plus 1, or I less than or equal to n, or you can also write it as I less than equal to n plus 1. So I plus plus, and then a of I is equal to -1. So you might be thinking, why am I doing this? The only reason am I doing this is whenever I store the values inside an array, I just need to know whether a particular location has a particular value. If it does not have the value, I'll store it back. In the previous video, I've already explained you f of 2. If we take f of 2 as a function, it is called twice. So I don't want the value to be stored twice. So that is the reason I'm just storing it once, and for the next time I'm just calling the function for it to calculate f of 2. So eventually, now I need to globally declare this array since it has to be available for that function as well. So I'm globally declaring it, that is static int a of I. So what happens if I just remove static? It won't be able to access that array because a static function can only access a static variable. So hence I have to define this array as static. So now it compiles successfully. So for the initial values of a, if a of n equals -1, then only store the value of n in a of n. That is, for a of 0, it will store 0, and at a of 1, it will store 1. And then I need some changes here. That is, if, again, if for the else part, if I have a of n equals -1, then I'm going to open curly brackets, and now a of n will be equal to fibble of n-1 plus fibble of n-2, and then I'll return the value of a of n as the final stage. and this will go right over to the else part, which means if I'm finding it here, I don't want fib of n minus 1 and n minus 2 to be called twice. So hence, if I find minus 1 here, it will execute this statement, or else it will just call the way it will execute it the way it was executing it before. So finally, to print the set of values, I'm going to use the function arrays.toString and print the value of 8. This will print the value of n Fibonacci number, and this will print the Fibonacci series. So just compile it. It compiles successfully. I'll just run the code, clear it for your convenience. Another thing that you can do with BlueJ is you can reset the Java virtual machine here. I just right click on it, and then I resetted the Java virtual machine, and then I'm executing it back again. So now it prompts me with the input message. I'll put the value as 2. So for 2, the nth Fibonacci number is 1 and the series is 0, 1, 1. That is all we are gonna get. Further, I'll execute it. Just let's go for a number 10. So the value, the nth Fibonacci number is 55, and that prints the Fibonacci series. So thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe my channel for more interesting content. Thank you and have a nice day.